This right there is why you might see another radical change, just like what happened this time last year when they started this whole 3-2 shape thing and then won the treble. There's probably something else cooking, brewing in the distance that we don't know about. I have a prediction. Let me lay it out. Let me see if you agree. Go down in the comments and let me know if you agree with this one. But I think a change might be coming, and I think there's one specific player City absolutely will be after. This video was supposed to be filmed last weekend. This is the November Superlatives, but I got sick. I really couldn't film. So here we are. This is the November Superlatives. An eventful December as it has been. We will be only talking about games that happened in November. Let's focus on November. Now, City are 7th in the 3-game table, the 3-game week table that includes games only played in November. If the Premier League season started on the 1st of November, ended on the 30th of November, City are 7th, drawing 2 games and winning just the one on the 4th of November, which happens to be their last Premier League game. Today is December 9th, so it means it's been over a month since their last Premier League win. Disastrous. They are now 4th. To win a Premier League title, you need to be as perfect as possible. This back 3 shape thing is, like, you've seen 4 goals conceded against Chelsea now. The goal against Liverpool, 3 against Tottenham, and the one against Aston Villa. That is 7, 8, 9 goals conceded in 4 games. So that should be alarming. And the reason why it is going to become alarming is this. Let me explain what's wrong here. Because now, Ruben Dias is a center back. Ruben Dias is right next to Rodri here. The play was in the other half of the field, and then the play's quickly progressing to Man City's half. Now, Dias is pointing this way for Gvardiol to go cover this spot. He's in a pickle here, because if Ruben Dias is part of the back 4 and Rodri has Bernardo Silva supporting him, this wouldn't be a problem. I'm going to go to the tactics board again. Here we go. But I've already drawn it up. So here is Gvardiol. He is covering a big amount of space here. We'll just switch Diaz and Akanji very quickly to reflect. And this white team isn't necessarily Chelsea, it's just a opposition team. Now Sterling, who happens to be number 7, is in the area with Kyle Walker. Like, it's just Kyle Walker just loses Sterling for a tap-in, right? If the problem here is that Gvardiol was running this way. So he was covering a big amount of ground in a short amount of time while considering what's the best place to cover and what will put me in the best situation to be able to defend against Reece James and to defend against what could happen next while Ruben Dias makes his way back. Because what ended up happening here and why it became a problem is that he was running backwards. This ball from Cole Palmer came early, too early for Gvardiol to realize. So it hit his back heel, and then Reece James cut in field. I think the pass wasn't weighted well enough, but it came early, too early for Gvardiol to realize. And in another world, the ball would have fallen the same way for Reece James, just that Reece James is gonna will have cut in field before Gvardiol gets in position. So in either case, because the pass is played early, Gvardiol is turning 180 degrees because he's making his way back, and by the time he is able to turn, rather than being already in position to defend one-on-one, let me just bring back the last picture. If he's already there, he's already in position to defend one-on-one against Reece James, while Ruben Dias is back here and he's ready for a situation where if, let's say, this play wouldn't develop the way it did anyway, because Cole Palmer would be dribbling differently, he would have taken different decisions, but let's assume the exact same move happens. Ruben Dias is here, and then Reece James is already being faced one-on-one against Gvardiol, who's facing him side on, ready to turn if Reece James decides to cut in field, and it's a much easier problem to solve. And then Diaz is an extra man in the middle. The other thing that wouldn't happen is that because Gvardiol would have already been here, Reece James wouldn't be making this cut in field, he would be here. Ruben Dias would probably end up being between Gvardiol and Akanji, which means that the decision to go across to Sterling wouldn't happen because this channel wouldn't be open. It would have been closed much more easier by Ruben Dias. Now, the other problem here is that this cutback was on. Rodri should have been marking Conor Gallagher, really. But what's alarming here is that you have two wide open options. And if the cutback is played here, it's also another easy finish for Conor Gallagher. But this is, this was just a tap-in, so much easier. Here's why Manchester City will buy a left-back. Manchester City will buy a left-back because the left-back function in an attacking sense is lacking a little bit for City. You have the privilege of having two very different wingers who are elite at what they do. If you happen to be blessed with a left back, I'll leave it Gvardiol for now, but pretend it's another left back that I'll be talking about just in a moment's time. So you would have your 4-2-3-1, let's say. Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Alvarez behind Haaland, Foden, Jeremy Doku. Jeremy Doku put deliberately hugging the touchline because that's what he did. That's what he does. Currently, at this moment in time, what the Man City attacking shape looks like is something that is focused a lot on the right hand side. So you have an overload of players. If an attack happens on one side, you'll probably see that the opposition also is trying to win the ball back, close spaces, a tackle on the right hand side too, so the play focuses on the right hand side, and then you see the switch going to Doku. This happens a lot. You pippity pop 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 pop, and then you see the switch to Doku, who will make this cut and feel. Oh, I forgot to bring the defender back, and then he's isolated one-on-one with the right back, and the game against Bournemouth being the first example of what Jeremy Doku can really do. His one-on-one isolation with Trent caused Liverpool problems, I can't lie, and the rest is history, right? If you have Jack Grealish, the pattern is different because he's not someone that's going to do the same things as Doku. He's a lot more in field, a lot more deep, so he's going to take on players slightly differently. He's been less direct than his Villa times, certainly, and less direct than Doku, so he'll play a lot of sideways and back passes. But then he's in field. So there is one fullback that is able to, if this is Grealish, he's going to be able to overlap him. If this is Jeremy Doku, he'll be able to underlap him and provide another option. So if the play is here, wait 1 second. Time. And then if it's Jeremy Doku taking on a defender one-on-one, you have another option that is able to go into the half. So I love a half space. Goes into the half space between the defender and the right back. And then the square ball can be played rather than having to rely on going right or left. This is going to get sussed out eventually. This is going to get sussed out eventually because there's nobody here. And it's the same players making the runs into the penalty area. It is Haaland. It is Alvarez. Foden staying back, hanging back. But if you have a fullback that is able to cover lots and lots of ground and go in between the right back and the center back, you then have an option to play the square ball as well. There's just not enough numbers to track the sheer running of Man City. You have a Haaland. You literally have Erling Haaland there. So this is, it's just another option, It's just, privilege. That left back that is able to overlap, underlap, contribute defensively. Short king, Valentin Barco of Argentina, the ginger king of Argentine left backs that currently play in Argentina, will be picked up by a team in Europe in the very, very near future. So the prediction is that Man City will buy Valentin Barco, start playing it back four again. Welcome to the Premier League 2024 with Man City. Unfortunately. I am aware that Man City have Sergio Gomez, but maybe because this 3-2 shape is in play now, he's not relied upon enough, and Guardiola needs a center back that can play left back, which is why he has Akanji and Gvardiol. Both have carried this role. Actually, within the past month, both have played this role. But I do get the sense that an actual left back is supposed to play. That they will need an actual full back just so they can have an extra body back, or just play like your center back four, but make it a back four. Player of the month. I struggled with this one because the man who won the player of the month is Harry Maguire, and the team of the month isn't going to be Man United either. I'm not buying it. And I'm sure you aren't either. Quick interjection. I was editing. I removed the whole bit where I said Aston Villa is the team of the month, so I think this is a good chance to let you know that Aston Villa are the team of the month, solely because they are keeping my prediction of them finishing 5th alive, and it was looked down at when we were doing our predictions at the time, and they are proving me right so far. They won 2 games. I'm aware they lost the one early in the month against Forest, but it's not going to be Man United, so I had to pick someone else that won 2 games and lost 1, and happened to be Villa. That's it. Doku's an option. Anthony Gordon is an option. I don't think one specific Liverpool player is an option. We'll give it to Anthony Gordon this month. Cooked Chelsea a bit, didn't he, in that 4-1 game? I feel very weak about this one. Chuck it to Gordon. And Anthony Gordon is someone I need to give credit because I wasn't convinced. I wasn't convinced up until the start of this season, to be honest. So yeah, I think this is a good chance to say well done to Anthony Gordon. Most Improved Award. If you have a Most Improved Award in the Premier League, it might be him. Might be. I haven't thought of other options, but this just popped up in my head. He has improved loads. It's also an award that was won last season by Joe Linton. So Newcastle seem to have a lot of players that are improving season on season. Credit to Eddie Howe. And now on to the non-Premier League team of the month. Girona, who are tied on the top. Well, they're second place on goal difference. But we're going to have to make a video about them very soon because they are fascinating. They are absolutely fascinating, and they have like a lot of situational quirks to their tactical shape, and a lot of interesting stuff happens on the left-hand side. They have loads of very interesting players that are like outcasts from different places, and they're 4 points ahead of Barcelona and tied on points with Real Madrid. I hope they can do something this season. They lost a lot of players too last season. Tati Castellanos being one of the you might remember him from the 4 goals he scored against Real Madrid. I might remember him from him playing in MLS. He's an MLS product with NYCFC. But they lost him to Lazio. Their squad is assembled of players that are either young or old, or just things haven't worked out for them elsewhere. The coaching is immense. Everyone is doing what they do best in a system that allows everyone the freedom to do what they do best, but in a very organized situational way where everyone is aware of everybody else's position and area and place on the field, and everyone is incredibly situationally aware. This is the modern example of roles over tactics, truly. You'll find the defensive midfield dropping in to become a center back because the left center back went to become a left back because the left back went to become a center mid, a number 8. It's wild, and it's beautiful to watch, and it's working. However, defensively, it isn't exactly, but it's working because they are second place in La Liga. 4 points out of Barcelona, equal on points with Real Madrid, and all of their Jude Bellinghams and stuff. Premier League, the non-Premier League player of the month, that was easy for me to say, is Alex Grimaldo. So when I did the Leverkusen episode, one thing I dropped and failed to actually properly give him the credit for is how involved he is in attack, because of those driving runs in between the fullback and center back that I was talking about with Valentin Barco and how he's capable of doing that. Alex Grimaldo would be an amazing option for Man City as well, by the way. He already has 11 goal contributions in the Bundesliga inside 13 games, and in the month of November alone, 5 goals and an assist. Alex Grimaldo is that, and might well be the option for Man City. Either him or Barco. Barco or him. Stay off Grimaldo. We might have someone else winning the Bundesliga other than Bayern.